Ladies and gentlemen, today might be an interesting one here in The Farmer Was Replaced, because we're going to attempt to tackle mazes today, and I know that a lot of people have been talking about this. I've been thinking about it in my head, without even knowing what the maze is. Right? I'm assuming, just based off of the game here, we know that mazes are down here, a maze with a treasure in the middle, right? So I'm assuming that we're going to have to create some kind of algorithm that can move our drone through a maze to reach a location. In my head, that sounds like you would use like a breadth first search algorithm, or a depth first search algorithm, but breadth is normally better. Um, my issue with that is that it's a little bit strange with the looping around, and I would have to really think about how to do that. And we're in a weird position where I can't really judge what's on a position without me moving to that position, right? Which really puts a damper on things. Typically, you would be able to formulate a grid, right? That you can have. I know that a wall is here. I know that a wall is not here, kind of things. We can't really do that with this. So a lot of things that I'm thinking about in my head. I have what I think is the easy solution. To this issue. Whether or not I'll be able to code it is a different note, but we'll talk about that in a second. A lot of you brought up that, Tyler, the reason your pumpkin code is not working is because you actually are too efficient, which is awesome. I love that for me. Here's what was happening. I'll attempt to explain this quickly. Inside of our code at the very bottom here, we would basically check if the entity was not a pumpkin. Okay. And in most cases towards the end, we'd be moving so fast that it would do this check and it's a pumpkin, but it's not grown, right? So it exits the loop and then it tries to harvest before it tried to harvest. If it wasn't fulfilled yet, it tried to harvest something that wasn't there, so then the grid would reset because this was just set to move on. So I've just added very simply, it's the best use case of do a flip that I could possibly do. We've added just an infinite loop right here. That's very simple. While we're waiting for that pumpkin to grow, do a flip, and then if you can harvest it, harvest it. The reason that I have do a flip in here is solely so you can see it. You can remove this and just do a while true if can harvest break, and it works completely fine. But the other reason why things looked a little weird when we were running this is we have the requirement set at 4200, right? And before I had a nice line in here that was just a requirements plus equals 1000, right? So it would keep running. Here's the issue. We're at a 7x7 grid, okay? So we have, when harvesting these pumpkins, that's 7 times 7 times 7, I think, right? Isn't that how these pumpkins harvest? Just to relook at. Yeah, so this will end up being a 7 times 7 times 7, which is huge, right? That's really, really big. And that results in us blasting through 1000 really, really fast. And then as soon as it would blast through 1000, it's going to restart plant pumpkins again. So then it's going to come all the way up here and it's going to reset the drone. It's going to harvest the grid again. So in a lot of ways, I got too many code windows, man, but I love the way it looks. In a lot of ways, it just makes sense to raise our requirement here. And you'll watch now if we run this. It'll do the nice reset to begin with. This is a lot cleaner. And you can really see it working in the perfect way. Doing a flip, it never actually planted the spot. Something went haywire here. I think it harvested before. You can start again, okay? This was working like literally a second ago. I think that everything just harvested or grew properly in that time. There we go. That works fine now. There's rare little off chances, I guess, that things can happen. I still think that a big part of our issue is we just move too fast. Like with the power, man, we move way too fast. So things just act a little wonky. Now I do think that we can change this further, and do things to make it where we would basically just wait on the couple tiles that don't. And since we move so fast, it probably is efficient enough to do that instead of continuing to scan. But I think that this is a lot of fun, and I love implementing the slow backflip into it. So that's this. Let's do some unlocks, okay? Let's do some unlocks. So in order to get to mazes, I have to do fertilizer. I also think that I want a dictionary for this. So I'm gonna unlock. Oh, I can't unlock dictionaries actually. Okay, that requires treasure chest, which I don't have. So let's do fertilizer first. This allows us to grow plants instantly. And I want to look at what this is. So at some point, waiting for the plants to grow is just not efficient enough. Fertilizer can make plants grow faster. Use item will instantly grow the plant under the drone by 2 seconds. Okay, and it can be bought with trade item fertilizer. Can I see what the cost on fertilizer is? Fertilizer is 10 pumpkins. Wow, okay. That's really expensive. No, I mean, granted, I get like 1,000 pumpkins, close to 1,000 every time I harvest. I mean, it's not 1,000, it's like 600. It should be more than 600, or less than 600. Aren't we a 7x7x7 grid? Yeah, we're 7x7x7. That's like 300, bro. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. It's like 350, but I think it's fine, okay? I think it's fine. Don't worry about it. Using fertilizer dries up the ground. The water speed buff will still apply while the fertilizer is being used, but after that it'll be reduced to 0. So you basically want to use either fertilizer or water. I'm gonna tell you, I mean, I'm not like too concerned. I'm really not that concerned. This is kind of fine in my opinion. Here we go. You got screwed up this time. But that's okay. You're good. You've produced 24,000 pumpkins. You're good. I probably just have something in that case that's still off a little. Okay, the fertilizer is interesting. I just don't think I'm gonna use it, right? I feel like when we have like 2,000 water barrels, we're keeping things watered pretty well. Unless these unlocks start to like really ramp up in the requirements. I mean, even this, use companion planting to increase the yield. I should look at this too. Cactuses we can't do till we do mazes. So unlock mazes now. Okay, if you use fertilizer on a full-grown bush, it grows into a maze of hedges with a 10% probability. Okay, so I have to get some fertilizer. For some reason, the drone can't fly over the hedges, even though they don't look that high. Okay, so that makes sense, right? Because it would force us. I need to see this. Okay, I need to see this. Let's start. Let's get some fertilizer. I'm just gonna grab like 1,000 for right now, and then let's plant. I'm just gonna do some one-off planting here. So plant a entities dot bush for me in that spot. Okay, beautiful. How do I use fertilizer? Fertilizer. Use items, item.fertilizer. Okay. That's fine. So use items on this, and it's a 10% chance, this said. Yeah, 10% chance that it turns into this. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so it's still the same. Let's move plant sunflowers that way. I just want to zoom in so I can understand this. Move my main function up a little bit. Okay, so it's still the same grid, it's just now you've implemented walls within it. So there's a treasure hidden somewhere in the hedge. Use harvest on the treasure to receive gold equal to the area of the maze. So a 5x5 will yield 25. Okay, so we'll get 49 for each chest we harvest. If you use harvest anywhere else, the maze will simply disappear. Okay, so you gotta be correct on it. Get entity type is equal to entities.treasure if the drone is over the treasure, and entities.hedge everywhere else. Okay, so that's basically our check. We'll basically just loop, right? We'll loop until get entity type is equal to entities.treasure, and then we will harvest. Mazes do not contain any cycles unless you reuse the maze. I don't think I understand what the hell that means, but that's fine. There's no way for the drone to end up in the same position again without going back. I have no clue what it just, I've got no clue. You can check if there is a wall by trying to move through it. Okay, that makes sense to me. And this is what I was concerned about. We don't have a way to check like a wall in front of us, right? We can't do a look to the left, check if there's a wall, look up, check if there's a wall, not a wall, move up, right? So we have to check if there's a wall by trying to move, which immediately like that really messes up a lot of algorithms. like breadth first search algorithms that I could have just like coded a breadth first search algorithm and then dumped it on this. This is what I was concerned about, and I'm glad I thought about that beforehand. If you have no idea how to get the treasure, take a look at hint 1. I really don't care about hint 1 right now. For some extra efficiency, you can also reuse the maze by using fertilizer on the treasure. 10% probability of increasing the treasure by 1 full maze and moving it to a random position in the maze. Why would we bother? Why would we bother? Why not just reuse the maze? Each time the treasure is relocated, a random wall may be removed, so reused mazes can contain cycles. For example, while above the treasure, the following code gives you the position where the treasure will be after you fertilize it. Oh, okay, interesting. So we would actually know the location of the treasure. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think you care. I think you just, I mean, maybe you care just to make it look pretty, right? Because you're gonna use the same amount. I'm basically doing optimization of fertilizer here. You're gonna use the same amount of fertilizer because it's a 10% chance of increasing the treasure. So you might as well just stay inside the maze, I guess. I see this as a bit of a trap, if I'm honest with you. Because realistically, you're going to make an algorithm that can find the treasure at any point, right? So trying to now code something where you know where the treasure is and you have to get to it, I feel like that's maybe a lot harder than I have to explain what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on just brute forcing the maze, okay? In the sense of if you've never been in like a corn maze before, look, I'm from Ohio. Corn mazes are like the highlight of fall. We love corn mazes here because all we have is corn to make ourselves happy. You basically just hug the left wall, right? You hug the left wall. You put your hand on the left wall and then you walk and you just do that forever. Eventually you make your way out of the maze. That's just how mazes work, right? So I think we need to somehow code that of just hug the left wall. So in this case, it's going to go all the way down, all the way back up, all the way over, all the way down. I mean, this is a horribly inefficient. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be disgusting, but like it'll get there. I think. We just have to figure out how to code that. And I don't care about these hints. Don't show me hints. So let's think about this, okay? My idea that was the reason why I wanted dictionaries, by the way, was I wanted to define a dictionary like this, where we had numbers correlating to positions. But I have a feeling that the game is going to yell at me when I hit enter on this, since I have not unlocked dictionaries. You're expecting a comma? That's very fair. Unlocks.dictionaries. Yeah, that's the issue. So I can't do this. I still think that there's value in storing these directions in a certain way, but let's think about this further before we dive into that. So we want to loop, right? We want to loop while get entity type is not equal to entities dot treasure. Okay. We're going to do something. Now what is what is that algorithm, right? You're going to, well, you're basically going to move as far as you can in one direction. Okay, so we're going to move as far as you can in one direction until you can't anymore. I'll add that until you can't. Then you're going to move as far as you can in the next direction as well. Okay, so I mean that's kind of it, right? That would be brute forcing this, hugging the left wall. So let's code it, right? I'm just gonna jump in instead of writing more pseudocode, which is probably a terrible idea for this. So interesting. My comment. Why you so weird? And why did that put dot append over there? I'm very confused. Okay. So while this is a problem, while we can move, okay. So while we'll start with north. So while you can move north, because move returns if you can move or not, right? Yeah, it returns true if you've moved, false otherwise. So while you can move north, move north. So I mean this can just be pass, right? And that's going to move him all the way to the top, right? And then we're going to be stuck in an infinite loop because it's just going to keep looping this over and over. So then the next step is while you can move west, move west until you can't, okay? Then while you can move south, move south. And then we're just gonna go clockwise, right? That's not clockwise. Go north, then east, then south, and then west. This seems very wrong, but let's run it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So while you can move north, you're gonna move north. Then east, you're gonna move east, and then south, and then it's just gonna fluctuate between those. Okay. So we have to come up with a better way to do that. We want to go as far north as you can. But then we want to oh, this is a little brain breakier than Tyler signed on for today. It's been a long day of work and now I'm doing this. Okay. So we're going to go as far north as possible. So while you can move north, you're going to move north. Then once you can't, we want to change what the direction is inside of here. Okay, let's try this. So what if we had a list of directions, right? And we go north, I keep on doing this wrong. North, east, south, and west. And then we'll basically just set a like little tracker variable. We'll start it at 0 and we'll say, "Hey, while you can move in directions at X, do that." And then we're just going to increase that by 1. And that actually effectively now takes care of this is now the same code until you reach 4. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. If X equals 4, then set X back to 0. Okay? Yeah, and now we're back to this again. But that's good. I mean, that's now made this a little bit more modular. We just have to figure out what to do if we can keep moving. So once you get, you're going to move all the way north. Once you cannot move north anymore, it's going to increase to east with X plus 1. You're going to try to move east as much as possible, which you can. So it's going to increase to south, and then it's going to go down. So effectively, I mean, let's just step through this. I can just set it up on this, right? You guys reminded me that we have an actual debugger in this game. So that's going to move north. then it'll get to east, and then it'll do south. Because we're adding +1 each time here. So then it goes to south. So how do we convince you? how do we teach your ass that we want to? What if we invert this, right? What if we invert this? So while we can't move, we increase the x, right? So we'll move this into here. Get rid of this out here. I don't think this is good enough to just run. No, that's effectively the same code, but I think that that's okay. So if this is basically saying that if you cannot move north, increase this. So it's just going to loop, and we're going to be hitting, if I just do all of this, we're going to be hitting the outside. We're never going to get inside of this, right? We're going to move, we're going to move, we're going to move. Now you can't move north, so we're going to change that value of x. And then you're going to do that until you hit south, which is now, and then you're going to move south, and then you're going to change it, you're going to move to west, then you're going to move back to north, and you're going to go back north. That's fine. So how do we now convince you that you need to move? We need to hug the wall. So you're going to check, you're going north. Just humor me for a second. I'm gonna swap. I've got Siri on my phone talking to me. If you could hear that. Move west and east. So we're going to go north because we want to hug the left wall. So left should always, up and left should always be our first thing to do, right? So you're now going to move to the left. Now you're going to try to go north. I almost need to like print out. Let's print out. Oh, you guys also told me about quick print, which is really cool. Quick print will not do it above his head. It will only put it in the output in here. So let's test that out. Move down to output. So we'll quick print directions at X in here. So we'll move. You're going to be trying to go west right now. Now you're adding, so you're going to try to go south right now. And you move, okay? Then what? Then what? Then you're going to try to go east. You can't, so you're going to increase. And now you're going to try to go north again. No. The index I tried to, oh, that makes sense. We need to do this. We need to do this down here. Okay. Right. I screwed it up. Quick print directions at X. Or I need to do it first. I actually need to do it first, because that would be the direction that we moved. Okay. So we're moving north until we can't move anymore. So directions at X is north. Yeah. Then you're going to try to go west, and you can't. So you're going to go down. Then you're going to try to go south, and you can't. So now we're going to try to go east, and we can't. So now we're going to try to go north. Then you're going to try to go west again. Right? And you... Why can't... Oh, and now we're just going to fluctuate between these over and over. Yeah, we're in a cycle. Okay. Okay. The issue is that we're never letting it. We need to go in order of all of them. Right? We need to Once we're in this position, I need to check. Can I go west? No. Can I go north? No. Can I go south? Yes. So go south. Can I go west? I need to... If we're trying to go back to west... This one... this one's a problem, chat. This one's a problem. If I need to go back to west... Well, you basically you want to continue to do whatever it was before as much as possible and only go on forward if that is not possible. So outside of our loop, what if we did an x minus equals 1? Okay? Because this is now going to now fluctuate where we'll get back to the previous direction, right? So we go, this is going to try to go north. Beautiful. It can't, so we're going to try to go west. Okay? It can't. So we're going to try to go south. We can. It's going to subtract 1 from x because we've now exited the loop. And you're going to try to go west again. Beautiful. Now you try to go north. You can't. You try to go west. You can't. You now go south. Well, you would try to go west, you can't, and then you go south. Okay, so now you're at south. We try to go west, we can. You try to go west, no, you try to go, why did that? Does this make sense? We're still going west. I think my brain got scrambled in here. Does this just work? Can we just... Yeah, okay, that just goes there. And then the loop stopped because we're on the treasure. Did we get really lucky on this one? Or did I screw something up? Maybe this is correct. So if we use fertilizer on this, 10% chance the chest is going to reset. Okay, you're eating through all of my damn fertilizer, bro? Okay. That's fine. So now you're there. So run this again. Okay, and then we errored. The index -1 you tried to access was outside the list. Okay, I mean, that did really well. So this is now, we probably can just do, I mean, what if we just throw it here, right? If x equals -1, then we wouldn't want to reset it. We want it to loop around. So if you're at -1, you want to loop back to the other side. So this would be x equals 3. Okay, and then you're off to the races and you find the chest. I think this is all you need. I think this is all you need. Bro, I feel like I lucked into this. I don't wanna be too confident on this because I was not confident on this. Okay, I could sit right now and I could be like, it was easy. I don't think this was that easy. I think that I got very lucky on this. Here's now what we do. So if we exit the loop, then we're gonna loop this, right? So for I in range, we can do this 300 times, right? So while for I in range 300, we're going to do this, and then outside the loop, we're not gonna harvest. We're going to while get entity type is equal to treasure, right? Which is entities dot treasure. Then we will use item fertilizer. This is gonna chew through fertilizer, dude. I mean, this is actually, we are going to chew through fertilizer. I need to set up a trade here. If num items of items dot fertilizer is less than 5, trade. Oh, I guess I have that trade function. It's fine. I mean, I should probably use it. It's just trade rec, the item we want to trade, and then its requirement. Right? That's how we use that. It's probably not a great sign when I don't even remember my own thing. So while we'll try to use it. While not trade rec items dot fertilizer 5, we will harvest and then plant pumpkins for, we'll go like 10,000 and then do this again. I know that sounds insane, but that's like the only way to really think about doing this. In most cases, that's just going to return with fertilizer because I have 11,000 pumpkins right now. So while that, we will use items.fertilizer. And then it's just going to start again, man, because it's going to find a new treasure chest and go, right? So we'll just do this until we either run out of these cycles or we run out of fertilizer, and it will probably run out of fertilizer first. If it's a 10% chance, then on average you're using like 10 times 300. I mean, you would need 3,000 fertilizer on average. Obviously, we could get very lucky. So that does not work. While get entity type is equal to, how is that just blasting through that? Is equal to entities.treasure. We are going to use items.fertilizer. Isn't this like right? And it should just, why are you not looping that forever? Oh, because get entity type, I don't have this. Okay. All right, there we go. And now he's just going to go and search for treasure chests. I mean, this is the most satisfying thing I've ever seen in my life. You can see that. I mean, we're not chewing through the fertilizer, but it is. Oh, we got an issue here. Okay. Interesting. So, hugging the left wall, it's because there's a loop inside of the maze. Because this is because they start removing the walls, right? So, you son of a gun. 10% probability of increasing it. Each time it's relocated, a random wall may be removed. So this is the cycles. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes it a lot harder. I think this is no offense to the game, but that is a lot harder. I don't know if I care. But then, I mean, we'd have to replant a bush over and over, which is kind of annoying. Okay, how do we resolve the cycles? You would basically you'd have to track if you visited a location before. Right? Because I look at it like this. So if we run this again, he will have hit all of these spots, right? But where I care the most about him hitting is this spot right here. Because if we kept track of a list that said, hey, have you visited this spot before? And then it said, if you have visited a spot before, try to go up. Have you visited that spot? Okay, go back. Try to go, right. Have you visited this spot? Okay, go back. Try to go down, right? And that's what we could build in here. So we need some way to get a coordinate. Okay? So let's define, let's just call it chord, right? I think this is easy. And this is going to we'll return a list of our coordinates. So this will be position X, position Y. And then we'll want to, inside of each iteration of this, we'll have a list that's called visited. Okay? And then as we move to a location, so moving to a location would be inside of this loop, right? So visited dot append your current coordinates, which is just chord. Okay? So while you are not okay, then you would have to implement here if your current chord is in visited, then change your X value, okay? No, hold on. We want this to be, well, no, this would, I mean, this is always going to succeed because you just visited that spot, right? You need this beforehand. So if that coordinate is in visited, which is currently empty, then you need to do the reverse of the movement you just did. How do we get the reverse of the movement that we just did? Because we need to go back to the previous spot. So reversing that, we can use our list so they're two apart. So we can do, you're going to move to directions at X -2 or +2, but you need that to wrap the list so we can do that mod 4. Is this crazy? This might be crazy. And you would go back if chord not in visited, then visited.append it. And then you would also have to increase X here by 1. But does all of this need to be, this might completely collapse it. Is lagging like a real son of a gun. That's probably because my guess is that visited list is becoming freaking huge because every time I hit a spot, well, no, because we're only appending it to it here. So the issue is that we never get into this, right? If chord in visited, visited.append chord. How do we never make it into this? It does start to lag. My guess is that visited list is freaking huge. Let's do this. We'll quick print that. And my guess is that if we come look at the output, it's just blowing the frick up. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we're gonna crash the game if I'm not careful. So let's not do that. Why are we not getting into there? If chord is in visited, if chord is not in visited, we're appending visited with our coordinate. But if chord in visited, which that should happen. Can we just, for kicks and giggles, can we just return out of this? Oh, it found it. I think we maybe got lucky. Yeah, okay, so now we're in another cycle, but you're never... So it never thinks that that chord is invisible. It's because we stopped on a spot that it was then able to loop again. So it looked a lot more intelligent than than what it was. Okay. I'm really confused why this is not working. Because clearly it works for if chord not invisited, but it doesn't work for if chord invisited? Like we should be able to. So out of a morbid curiosity, okay, we're at 0, 0. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1, 4. And is 1, 4 invisited? Do I just have something wrong with my... Maybe I just have something wrong with my... Get position X, get position Y. Our current position should be... I mean, but if we're data pending our current coordinate, I'm really quite confused on this. This is a massive string, man. I need to like... is there a way for me to copy this fully out of here? Or make this window bigger? I think I've just made too big of a list, which is totally fair. Okay. You're in a loop now, so this should be a little bit more reasonable to look at. So this is at 3, 4. And 3, 4. 3, 4 is not in here. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. It's 3, 3. 3, 3 is right here, man. So if it's invisible, and this is exactly where we would want it to go too, because this is a scenario where it would branch off, right, and move in a different direction. So if chord, I may have to step away and look at this. I'm starting to think that there's just something wrong in the game, man. Because I mean, this is... Do they just... But it's not the not code that's not working. Okay, hold on. We're gonna prove this together real quick. By just watching this line by line. Okay. Now, unfortunately, you're going to find the treasure right here. So I'm gonna have to wait for another loop. And we reset visited every time, so that's not a huge concern. Okay, we're I believe in a loop. Right. Are you in a loop? Yeah. Okay, so stop execution here because we know you're going to still be in a loop there. Okay. Now let's watch this very, very closely. Okay? So right now we visited is empty. So chord is not invisited, we append it to the list. And this is 4, 5. Makes total sense to me. We go up. Now we add 4, 6 to visited. Then you're going to keep going, until you get all the way over here, right? And then we're back to here. So 4, 5, it's the very first entry of the list, right? So you should, at this point, if chord is invisited, return, and you skip right over it. Why? Why is that? It appears I have broken the farmer was replaced. Unless I'm really missing something, dude. But I mean, that seems about as obvious as can be. That should stop there, right? That should stop there. This chord is in that list. Unless in just works differently with this. Can we take a look at lists again? Because to be fair, this isn't Python. It's just kind of Python, right? So empty list at something. You can iterate over a list using a for loop. For number in list. I mean, in is right there, bro. Is right there. So I mean, I suppose if you really want me to, we can say for chord in visited if C is equal to the current chord, then return. And then let's just print. We're going to quick print, just so I can prove this not working. We're going to quick print C and chord here. Okay. So go to my output. Start me again. Now you're going to go. Hopefully you're in a loop of sorts. You definitely are. The treasure chest is in a. It's actually a terrible spot for this. Now, interestingly, dead ends are going to be weird because this is now. This should now be doing some stuff. So visited, we're checking everything in visited, and it should find it here. Those are the exact same value. And then you return. What the heck, dude? Okay. Okay, so this code works, but the other one didn't. Fascinating. Okay, then run this. Index 1 up to 5. Does that make sense to me? Yes, because we do a plus equals 1 without checking if it went to. I need you to paste here. Without checking if it went to 5. Dude, that's a bug in the game, man. That's a bug in the game. If X, let's just do, because there's a, did I do this right? If X, we move in that direction, the opposite direction, and then you increase X, but if X is, let's just do it. I'm starting to add too many random statements here. The index 5 you tried to access was outside the list. Okay, so the issue here was that this ended up being 5. Because if this ends up being a 3... Hold on. No, anything mod 4, we should never have anything mod 4 equal 5. That's not possible. Unless, oh, you know what? It's doing 2 mod 4 first. Add those together. I probably can keep this if X equals 4. Okay. Get back going. It's gonna start to, I mean, it's a lot more chaotic. it's also a lot laggier because of all the printing that we're doing. He's a lot more clueless on where to go. Because when he gets to some of these spots, he's just it's gonna kind of choose a direction that it doesn't. Yeah, I mean he's completely hosed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean I don't think this lad's ever finding it. Let's stop you and then kick you off again and see if maybe you can find it this time around. There you go, you found it that time. And then that resets the list. You can tell that it's lagging. Oh, that corner is hell, dude. The cycles are a lot harder. I mean, my solution is not good for that. Bro, just stuck in there. You know, we can reset it every once in a while, but it just, oh, what the hell? He found the treasure and then didn't stop. It's probably because inside it here I need another check if he found the treasure, actually. Yeah, I mean this is kind of hell. Let's just manually move him up to the treasure and harvest. Okay, so we're going to move you west. We're gonna move you north. We're gonna move you north again. And then we're gonna move you east. We're gonna move you north. We're gonna move you east. We're gonna move you south. And then we're going to harvest here. So do all this and harvest. So that was 1.5 thousand gold. And then it puts us back to this. I think I'm happy for today. This is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, okay? It is definitely not perfect. I think that it was perfect for a maze that there were no loops in. If there was a loop in the maze, then problems for sure. But if there was not a loop in the maze, no problems. This is really the code that's jank now. I mean, I should probably build something that plants the bush, right, and handles that. But for right now, entities.bush. This is not very, and then we'll do while get ground type, or no, it's get entity type hedge, right? Get entity type not equal to entities dot hedge. Then use items dot fertilizer. Okay, and then that grows this. And then we can kick you off again. Yeah, dude, I mean, he's just a lot jankier when I add in that other code. For right now, will you let me do no, you won't let me do a control, or wait a minute, is it shift? Shift slash? No, you don't let me do that. Let's just comment out all this for right now. Because this code works great without that. And it can find the treasures. And then realistically, I mean, we can just, I don't know. You let it go until it can't, and then you go manually harvest for right now. That's obviously a horrible approach. And now we're in a loop, so then it's hell. And then we can stop him here, and we can navigate him to the harvest, but that's... I gotta rethink the cycle code. We'll figure it out. I still think that we found a bug in this game, which is very intriguing. And you are all gonna be very mad at me if I don't go harvest that chest and get the gold out of it. So move east, and then move east, move 3 times, move south. What, you don't think this is the correct way to code the algorithm for just putting in move functions over and over until you get the chest? Yeah, it's like obviously not right. I gotta think about this. You guys will give me good solutions for that, I'm sure. But I mean, I'm not horribly unhappy with this. It's good enough for right now, in my opinion. And if we wanted, we can set it up to just harvest one at a time. Or we can try to make this like 5, right? And then you harvest. And then you plant a bush. Because then it's at least like the odds of a wall coming down that creates a cycle is relatively low. Plant entities.bush. Do a flip. We'll do a flip twice just for humor's sake. And then while this, do that, and then it'll kick off again. Oh, what have I done? That's because we need to probably put that at the beginning of this harvest. And then at the front of this, we'll do this. This can probably get defined at like over here. And then this entire thing can get wrapped in a while true. Right? Is that good enough? Plant the bush, do a flip. Oh, you tried. Oh, okay, you did okay. So now you'll grab 5 treasure chests. And then you'll do this again. You'll do a flip. You really don't need to do the flips because the fertilizer is gonna harvest it immediately. We can probably do more than 5 treasure chests, man. Like let's do like 15. It won't go poor, right? It won't go poor. We'll hope that no walls go. Oh frick, a wall already went down. Okay. It's a risk that we take. Oh, that's a loop, bro. Ow! Alright, you get the gist. You get the gist. We can make this a lot of different ways. We just gotta figure out the cycle code. For now, though, thank you so much for watching. As always, liking the video, much appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.